Emma stepped into the grand entrance of Oakwood Hall Boarding School, her heart racing with excitement and a hint of nervousness. She clutched her suitcase tightly, taking in the high ceilings, polished wooden floors, and the warm glow of the chandeliers. This was her new home for the next few years, and she was determined to make the most of it. As she made her way to the dormitory, she met Olivia, a bright-eyed and bubbly girl who would become her roommate and closest friend. They quickly discovered shared interests and values, bonding over their love of books, music, and adventure. In class, Emma struggled to keep up with the math lessons, but Olivia was always there to lend a helping hand. Miss Thompson, their teacher, was kind and patient, but firm when needed. She encouraged Emma to ask questions and seek help when needed. Meanwhile, Victoria, a spoiled and entitled rich girl, made it her mission to make Emma and Olivia's lives difficult. She would mock their clothes, their hair, and even their accents. Emma tried to ignore her, but Olivia stood up to Victoria, refusing to back down. As the weeks went by, the tension between Victoria and the girls escalated. Victoria would often flaunt her wealth, buying expensive treats and gifts for her friends. Emma and Olivia would sit together in the refectory, enjoying their simple meals and each other's company. One day, Victoria spilled soup on Emma's uniform, laughing as Emma frantically tried to clean the stain. Olivia stood up to Victoria, her voice firm and calm. "Leave her alone, Victoria. You're always picking on someone." Victoria sneered, but Emma felt a surge of gratitude towards Olivia. They exchanged a look, and Emma knew she had found a true friend. As the months passed, Emma and Olivia grew closer, sharing secrets, dreams, and fears. They formed a secret group with like-minded friends, supporting each other through thick and thin. But Victoria wasn't about to give up. She began to spread rumors and lies about Emma and Olivia, trying to turn their friends against them. Sophia, Victoria's friend, secretly joined their group, but Sophia sensed something was off about her, but Emma couldn't shake off the feeling that she was hiding something. Olivia, however, trusted Sophia completely, and the three of them spent many hours together, exploring the school and sharing stories. One day, Sophia asked Emma and Olivia to meet her in the old oak tree house on the outskirts of the school grounds. She promised to reveal a secret that would change everything. As they climbed up to the treehouse, Emma felt a sense of unease. Something didn't feel right. But Olivia was excited, and Sophia seemed eager to share her news. "I have something to tell you," Sophia said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Something that could get me in big trouble." "What is it?" Olivia asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. Sophia hesitated, looking around nervously. "I don't think I should say. Victoria would kill me if she found out." Emma's instincts kicked in. "Sophia, what?" Sophia took a deep breath. "I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to frighten you. It's just, I've been working with Victoria to take you down." Olivia's face fell. "What? Why?" Sophia shrugged. "Victoria promised me a share of her wealth and influence if I helped her. I didn't know what to do." Emma felt a surge of anger. "You betrayed us, Sophia. How could you? Sophia began to cry. I'm sorry, Emma. I was weak and stupid. Please forgive me. Olivia stood up, her eyes flashing with anger. We need to tell the others. We can't trust Sophia anymore. But as they climbed down from the treehouse, Emma realized that things were more complicated than they seemed. Sophia was trapped in Victoria's web of deceit, just like they were. As they walked back to the school, Emma couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being watched. She glanced around, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. Olivia, however, was seething with anger. We need to expose Sophia and Victoria, Olivia said, her voice low and determined. We can't let them get away with this. Emma nodded, but a part of her felt uneasy. Let's think this through, Liv. We don't know what we're up against. But Olivia was resolute. We'll gather evidence and take it to the principal. She'll have to listen to us. That night, Emma and Olivia snuck into the school's computer lab, determined to uncover Victoria's secrets. They hacked into Victoria's email account, and what they found shocked them. Victoria had been manipulating the school's finances, embezzling funds meant for scholarships and school supplies. She had also been blackmailing teachers and students, using secrets and lies to control them. But as they delved deeper, they realized that Victoria was just a pawn in a larger game. Her mother, a wealthy and influential woman, was pulling the strings from behind the scenes. We need to be careful, Emma whispered, as they printed out the evidence. We are dealing with powerful people. Olivia nodded, her eyes flashing with determination. We'll fight for what's right, Emma. No matter what. But as they left the lab, they were caught by none other than Victoria herself. Victoria sneered at them, her eyes gleaming with triumph. You think you can take me down? I'll crush you like the insignificant insects you are. Emma stood tall, despite the fear creeping up her spine. We have evidence, Victoria. You're not above the law. Victoria laughed. My mother will protect me. She always does. But Olivia smiled sweetly. Not this time, Victoria. We've got proof of your embezzlement and blackmail. You're going down. Victoria's face turned red with rage. You'll never get away with this. Just then, the principal appeared, flanked by two teachers. What's going on here? Victoria quickly recovered. These girls are harassing me, principal. Please protect me. But the principal's eyes narrowed. I've received some disturbing reports about you, Victoria. Emma and Olivia, come with me. As they followed the principal, Emma felt a sense of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could bring Victoria and her mother to justice. But little did they know, Victoria's mother had already set a plan in motion, one that would destroy Emma and Olivia's reputations and lives forever. The principal's office was tense as Emma and Olivia presented their evidence. Victoria's mother, Mrs. Smith, sat calmly, a calculating glint in her eye. I don't believe this, Mrs. Smith said, her voice dripping with disdain. My daughter would never engage in such behavior. But the principal was unyielding. The evidence speaks for itself, Mrs. Smith. Victoria will face consequences. Mrs. Smith smiled sweetly. We'll see about that. That night, Emma and Olivia received threatening messages and strange phone calls. They knew Mrs. Smith was behind it, but they refused to back down. The next day, the school was abuzz with rumors and lies about Emma and Olivia. They were accused of cheating, stealing, and worse. The girls were devastated, but they knew they had to fight back. Olivia had an idea. "Let's organize a rally, Emma. We'll show the school the truth." Emma's eyes lit up. "Yes. We can do it." But as they began to plan, they realized that Mrs. Smith had one final trick up her sleeve. The day of the rally arrived, and Emma and Olivia stood nervously on stage, facing a sea of students. But just as they began to speak, the school's headmistress appeared, flanked by Mrs. Smith and Victoria. "I'm afraid this rally is unauthorized," the headmistress said, her voice firm. "Emma and Olivia, you're under suspension, effective immediately." The crowd gasped, but Emma and Olivia refused to back down. They continued to speak, their voices ringing out across the auditorium. But Mrs. Smith had one final card to play. She stepped forward, a triumphant smile on her face. "Emma and Olivia are not who they seem," she said, her voice dripping with malice. "They are hiding a dark secret, one that will destroy their reputations forever." The crowd gasped again, and Emma's heart sank. What secret was Mrs. Smith talking about? And then, it happened. A video appeared on the school screens, showing Emma and Olivia in a compromising position. The crowd erupted into chaos, and Emma's world came crashing down. Emma's eyes widened in horror as she realized the video was a fake, created by Mrs. Smith to ruin their reputations. But the damage was done. The crowd was in an uproar, and the headmistress was furious. "Emma and Olivia, you're expelled," she thundered. "Leave the school grounds immediately." As they packed their bags, Emma felt a sense of despair wash over her. But Olivia's determination ignited a fire within her. "We'll fight this, Emma," Olivia said, her eyes blazing. "We'll clear our names and bring Mrs. Smith to justice." But as they walked out of the school gates, Emma realized that their battle was far from over. Mrs. Smith's influence extended far beyond the school, and they were in grave danger. Just then, a car screeched to a halt beside them. It was Sophia, Victoria's former friend, who had finally found the courage to stand up against Mrs. Smith. "Get in, girls," Sophia said, her voice trembling. "I'll help you take down Mrs. Smith and clear your names." Emma and Olivia exchanged a look, and then they leapt into the car, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Sophia drove them to a secret location, where a group of allies was waiting. There was Alex, a tech-savvy student who had been helping Sophia gather evidence against Mrs. Smith, Jake, a star athlete who had been bullied by Victoria, and Miss Johnson, a teacher who had been unfairly fired by the headmistress. Together, they hatched a plan to expose Mrs. Smith's corruption and clear Emma and Olivia's names. They spent hours gathering evidence, building a case that would bring Mrs. Smith to justice. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. They presented their evidence to the school board, revealing Mrs. Smith's embezzlement, blackmail, and manipulation. The board was shocked, and Mrs. Smith was arrested on the spot. Victoria, realizing her mother's empire was crumbling, broke down in tears. The headmistress, realizing her mistake, apologized to Emma and Olivia, offering them a full scholarship to return to school. Emma and Olivia looked at each other, smiled, and accepted. They had fought for justice, and they had won. As they walked back to school, hand in hand, Emma turned to Olivia and said, "You know, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad we got expelled." Olivia grinned. "Me too. It led us to each other." And they shared a kiss, as the sun set on their victorious day. The end.